right? So the direction is, in each of the following questions, a short passage is given with one of the lines in the passage missing and represented by a blank. Select the best out of the 4 or 5 answer choices given to make the passage complete and coherent. So there might be a question with 4 options, there might be a question with 5 options. Whichever it is, we are going to identify which is the right answer, keeping in mind all the pointers that we just saw. So let's get started. The first passage that we have here, it seems like the blank is almost towards the beginning of the passage. It's not the first line, but it's probably the second line or third line. And then we have 5 options. So let's quickly read the passage, right? The cure for inflation, like most cures, consists chiefly in removal of the cause. The cause of inflation is the increase of money and credit. The cure is to stop increasing money and credit. And then there's the missing line or the blank. It is as simple as that. Although simple in principle, this cure often involves complex and disagreeable decisions on detail. Let us begin with the federal budget. It is next to impossible to avoid inflation with a continuing heavy deficit. That deficit is almost certain to be financed by inflationary means, that is, by directly or indirectly printing more money. Huge government expenditures are not in themselves inflationary, provided they are made wholly out of tax receipts or out of borrowing paid for wholly out of real savings. But the difficulties in either of these methods of payment, once expenditures have passed a certain point, are so great that there is almost inevitably a resort to the printing press. Okay, so we have the passage, right? Let's look at our options. Option A, the cure for inflation in brief is to stop inflating. Option B, the cure for inflation in brief is to think positively. Option C, the cure for inflation is planning small things with little thoughts. Option D, the cure of inflation lies in inflation itself. And option E, the cure of inflation is hidden in understanding the cause of inflation. Let's quickly bring back those pointers that we saw, right? One of the first things we said is, let's pay attention to the topic sentence, because the line is somewhere in the second or third line. We can pay attention to that, and we can also pay attention to surrounding context, which is line preceding the blank and line following the blank, right? When I look at the line following the blank, it's a very, very critical clue for us. It is as simple as that, which means the previous line has to be dealing with some very simple thought, right? So it is as simple as that. Is almost like it's reiterating something simple that was mentioned in the earlier line, in the preceding line, right? Now, to understand the passage, inflation, I'm sure all of you know, right? It's the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. So consequently, the purchasing power of currency is falling, right? So when the price level rises, each unit of currency buys fewer goods and services. We understand the concept of inflation. Now, because of this highlighted phrase right after the blank, it is as simple as that. If I look at my options, right, there is another key phrase in the option itself which is helping me. Can you identify that option or the key phrase from the options A, B, C, D, E, right? So in brief means what? When I say in brief, I'm saying, to put it plainly or put it in simple terms, right? So I'm not complicating the idea, but I'm simplifying it for you, right? So I can look at these two, A and B, because both the options have in brief, right? And let's apply logic and eliminate wrong answer choices here. So let's keep A and B in the parking lot. Let's look at C, D, E. The cure for inflation is planning small things with little thoughts. Seems very illogical and unrelated to the passage right here, right? I'm going to eliminate this. Yeah, with little thoughts, it doesn't make sense. The D, the cure of inflation lies in inflation itself. Now for me here, it very clearly says, which is the topic sentence, the cure for inflation, like most cures, consists chiefly in removal of the cause. So obviously the result or the solution cannot lie in the cause itself, right? So this again doesn't make sense. You can eliminate option D. So the cure cannot lie in the cause itself. It lies in the removal of the cause. The topic sentence is very clearly stating that. What about E? The cure of inflation is hidden in understanding the cause of inflation. Now, so see, this word hidden is kind of stopping me. from even looking at that option, because we're talking about something very simple. Something hidden is not going to simplify things for me, right? I can't read between the lines. Or are you following? So the cure of inflation is hidden in understanding. So seems very complicated for me, and it's not a simple thought or a procedure. So I'm eliminating option E as well. So let's go back to A and B. The cure for inflation in brief is to stop inflating, or the cure for inflation in brief is to think positively. Now for me, mere thinking alone is not going to give me the results. I have to act on it, right? So the more concrete or the most effective option to fit in the blank is option A. The cure for inflation in brief is to stop inflating. It's as simple as that. And that makes sense. So basically what we've done here is, we've applied a couple of pointers that we looked at, right? We said focus on surrounding context. We did that. We identified clue phrase not only from the passage but also from the options. 3, we applied logic. We eliminated wrong answer choices, right? So the option for this passage is option A. The cure for inflation in brief is to stop inflating. It is as simple as that.